growing up, one of the biggest challenges I had, was not only that feeling, but it was also overcoming the socioeconomic barrier.
Absolutely.
With a mom in Southern California, widowed, disabled, things were already tough enough economically, right?
Yeah.
So overcoming that barrier, that feeling of lack,
Yeah.
I'm not worthy enough,
Mm-hmm.
the self-confidence. What I had to learn was to not only forgive others, but
Mm-hmm.
give yourself grace and then let it go.
Absolutely.
Let it go, live in the moment, and just be your authentic you and let that shine through.
Welcome to another episode of the Prosper Brief. We are here at the Prosper Forum at beautiful Amelia Island, and I have a very special guest with me today. We have Shannon Iverson. She was this year's Accelerator, and I'm so happy to be able to have this conversation with you today.
Well, thank you, Jeremiah. It's been a pleasure. I'm actually just so honored to be here, part of Prosper, and just so grateful for the opportunity that Taco John's has given me and nominating me to be a part of this amazing group.
How's your experience been so far?
It's been just so amazing. The people here are just so welcoming, so warm, so authentic, and it just seems like family.
I think it's so great because when I come into a place like this and I look at the history of where I'm from, and sometimes I can feel out of place. But the conversations I've had with so many different individuals, I feel like we all share similar backgrounds, Not everybody just comes from this place where their dad's a CEO and they're being handed a job. Like, these are hardworking people such as yourself, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. It's been a long journey of hard work. Definitely a lot of support along the way, but for sure it's great. This is a great diverse group with so many great backgrounds. I hear of so many CEOs today, COOs who've started working in QSR, the restaurant business, in age 14, just like myself. So it's great to see so many people that you can really relate to.
Absolutely. And it's actually funny that you mentioned that, because in our conversations that we had a couple months ago when we were preparing for this podcast, the theme was grit and grace.
Yeah.
And like, you are a very resilient woman, and you have grit, you have not given up. You've faced different milestones in your life. And I just think that it'll be great if you can just start to share your story of your upbringing and where that grit came from.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I'll get a little vulnerable in speaking about my upbringing. I grew up in Southern California, and my mother was widowed with 4 children. I was the third out of 4. And early on, while I was in elementary school, she had a stroke. So things were really tough for us. But I learned at that point that you had to work hard in order to not only survive, but to get what you want.
Yeah.
And it also took the family coming together to help support my mom. We were out in Southern California without any extended family. It was just really our community and our friends, or my mom's friends, who helped us through it all. So my mom, she did rebound, very strong lady. I look up to her, admire her.
Yeah. Let's talk about that feeling of the responsibility you felt even at a young age to almost be a provider and help out your mom, and assist. What was that feeling like?
I'm not sure if there was really any feeling to it. It was just about, this is what's needed in order to provide and to help out, do your part. My sister and I, we, at a very young age, I think by 8, we were cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, doing the laundry, also taking care of my mother, her personal needs, until she was able to recover. But I probably shouldn't say this, but I caught the house on fire a few times in the kitchen, because we had this old stove where you had to turn the gas on, light the match, open the oven, throw it in, and then run.
Oh my gosh, that was your stove?
Well, if you left the gas on too long, it would accumulate there. So.
Wow. Your mom was letting you guys do this?
Oh, there was no letting us.
Oh, there was no other
She
option.
was, yeah, she was
Wow.
partially paralyzed from the
Oh my
stroke. So,
gosh.
um, I mean, we had to. There was
Yeah.
not. It
Jeez,
was
that's
just part
crazy.
of how we grew up. So,
Wow.
all was positive. We had a
Yeah,
lot of ton of great memories. Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
So I have an 11-year-old kid, and if I leave the house, he's not allowed to touch the stove. Like
Same
he
here.
he burnt something in the air fryer like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, how many minutes did you put the air fryer in? Like, how is that even possible? So you're doing this at 8 years old, and you said you started working at a restaurant pretty early in your career, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was my first entry into the QSR space, franchising as well. So I was 14. I had the opportunity through a friend to work at Jack in the Box. It was actually on the beach, and I loved it. It was my first job, and I'll tell you, I was so grateful for that opportunity. It taught me so many things.
Yeah.
I was onboarded really well. I was the cashier, and they gave me ownership of the cashier area as well as the lobby.
Wow.
And so that meant that I greeted the customers. I had to upsell. Let's see, I had to make sure the lobby
Really?
was clean. And
Wow.
I was in charge of the fry station and then making the tacos and taking the orders.
Wow.
So I it was during the summertime, and my big goal was to have a car at 16 so I can get a better job, more
Yeah.
jobs, and then help provide, or at least offset the expenses by taking care of myself, and then also contributing to the family. But I worked some long hours there. I worked double shifts. I took every shift that was possible.
Wow.
And I really owned my role, owned my job,
Yeah.
and I was very proud of it.
Yeah.
It was a sense of community, not only with my coworkers, but then the customers who would come in.
Yeah.
I mean, I have so many vivid memories right now of that Taco John's on the beach, and Jack in the Box
Yeah.
on the beach. It was an amazing experience that really taught me that you have to work hard, you have to own it, you have
Yeah.
to do the jobs that nobody else wants to do, like
Yeah.
cleaning the bathrooms, doing it well, mopping, doing
Yeah.
a fantastic job with everything that you do.
Wow. So let's fast forward into your adulthood, right? Your career path into the adulthood, you didn't start in the restaurant industry, correct?
No, I didn't. No, as a matter of fact, I have a teaching degree, but I realized
Okay.
that my patience was
Me too.
a
Yeah.
little
I
lagging.
taught for
So
3 years, so I understand. And I'm currently podcasting.
yeah. But I do rely on my teaching degree because it did teach me how to lead large teams, right? But then also work with the individual, bring them up, and then just harness all of that into hitting goals and accomplishing not only for the team but then for the individual. So I then went into the chemical space and
Okay.
chemical manufacturing. So that's where the process, Lean Six Sigma, all of those key, I guess, attributes to really franchising and in the role that I'm in today, which is development. All of those really help shape me and give me that foundation that I need in order to drive successful teams. But during that time, I was there in the chemical space for about 9 years. I led
Oh, wow.
customer service, inside sales, and then international relations, international business. And I realized that didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do, quite honestly, as far as careers, but I knew that there was a change that needed to be had. So I left on good terms, gave a 90-day notice, and I took that time to really reflect, spend time with the family,
Yeah.
and then think about that next career. That thought had been going on for about almost 2 years, and I just relied on faith. I mean, I left without a job. I left without
Yeah.
knowing where my next career was going to be, which was
wow.
absolutely for me that
Yeah.
like I always had really some type of tangible safety net.
Yeah.
And I then transitioned my safety net now to just faith. And faith is what led me to franchising.
Wow.
And I stumbled on franchising, and I learned more about it. And as soon as as soon as I did the research, I knew that was my path.
Wow.
And all I needed was a brand to be with, and I was grateful for for Marco's Pizza. They gave me the opportunity to go in and really reinvent myself.
Let's talk about Marco's Pizza, because I remember you telling me that you were a little bit nervous when during the first interview process. You made a commitment to whoever was hiring you, right?
Yeah, I did.
And what was that? What did you tell them?
Yeah, so let me just back up a little bit. And so part of, my faith journey was also taking the leap and knowing that I would have to, sometimes to reinvent yourself, you have to take a step back.
Absolutely.
And it can be very humbling. And, you're like here in your career, and then you go to a new career, and you just, you don't know anything about the industry or the space, and you're not an SME anymore. So you have to humble yourself and really just sponge everything up. And again, do all those jobs that nobody else wants to do, and do them well. And deliver those results. So what I did was I actually had an entry-level job as a sales coordinator at Marco's Pizza. And when I interviewed for it, the CDO at the time was Ron Stillwell, and very grateful for Ron for giving me the opportunity into franchising. And he said, "Shannon, what are you doing here? You're way overqualified for this role." And I said, "I appreciate that, Ron, but actually I'm not. I don't know anything about QSR or pizza or the franchising space or the franchising business model, but I guarantee that I'll be the best hire you ever had, and you'll want to promote me in 6 months if you do hire me." I gave the commitment that I would learn everything about Marco's Pizza. I would learn everything about the business model. I would go back to school. I'll go to grad school and get my graduate certificate in franchise management. I would earn the CFE designation, and I would do all of this within 1 year.
Wow.
And he told me I was crazy. He said, "There's no way you can do that. No way you can earn your CFE in 1 year. Maybe the other stuff, yes." And I completed all that within 11 months. So, and he promoted me within 4 months. So
That's so great. So it seems like throughout your entire life and career, there's just these moments where you either progress or you're it's almost like an aha moment, right? So I remember you told me a story, and we can cut this out if you don't want to share it.
Sure.
But a story of when you went back to the country that your dad is from, and what that did during your your young adult years, that kind of like enabled you to know that you can accomplish anything. Do you want to share that?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So my mother was widowed because my father came to the U.S. from Peru. He came to go to college in South Dakota School of the Mines, and his family, or my family, is from the mining industry in La Arroya. And he fell in love with the United States. And after college, he enlisted in the Air Force, and he served in the Air Force. Met my mom in college. Well, she was in college. He was in the Air Force, and then he shipped off to Vietnam. And then after he came back, and he suffered. He ended up suffering from complications with PTSD, and I never got to know him. Or the rest of my Peruvian family. So when that happens, sometimes there's a hole left in your heart.
Absolutely.
And that hole, it can remain open, and it could be this big abyss. And can eat away at you if you don't mend it and really fill it, right? So after college, I had the opportunity to advance my Spanish studies to a business level. So I attended the Amauta Academy in Cusco, Peru. I also was a volunteer kindergarten teacher in
Oh,
Spanish. Yeah, I
oh,
spoke
that's
in
so nice.
Spanish.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to reconnect with my grandmother who lived
Wow.
in Lima.
Wow.
We developed a relationship, and I would visit her on the weekends at times and
Wow.
heard some great, just love nurturing stories about my father, as well as just, the culture.
Yeah.
Got to know the people, the food, and just all of a sudden, out of day by day, that hole just closed up on its own. And it
I love
just
that.
filled me. And
Yeah.
in Spanish, we would say it filled me llena with the love and the tradition
Wow.
and the relationship. I'm fully
Yeah.
engaged with my family. As a
Wow.
matter of fact, I was texting with my uncle Ernesto, who lives in Hawaii, and he was sending me videos of this, I guess, the world surfing winner,
Yeah.
tournament winner. So just, yeah, we have a great, and it was just in Japan. I saw
Yeah.
my cousin who lives in Japan.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. And that feels like that type of a milestone, being able to cross that, if you're able to get through that pain, not
Yeah.
allowing it to become resentment, not allowing it to just become something that's deeply rooted, where you can constantly go back and point to, oh, I hate this, or like getting rid of that and then moving forward in your life and your career. I'm sure that gave you the feeling where you can just accomplish anything, right?
As a matter of fact, that feeling, it healed so much. And I growing up, one of the biggest challenges I had, was not only that feeling, but it was also overcoming the socioeconomic barrier.
Absolutely. Yeah.
With a mom in Southern California, widowed,
Hmm.
disabled.
Hmm.
I mean, things were already tough enough economically, right?
Yeah.
So overcoming that barrier, that feeling of lack,
Yeah.
I'm not worthy enough,
Hmm.
the self-confidence, overcoming those daily battles on your own, and inside, we can be our biggest critics.
Yeah.
But what I had to learn was to not only forgive others, but
Hmm.
give yourself grace, and then let it go.
Absolutely.
Let it go, live in the moment, and just be your authentic you, and let that shine through.
Absolutely. We're going to get into your work at Taco John's, but before we get
Sure.
there, you said something really interesting. Like, here we are now today. So you came from a place where, single parent home, your mother's paralyzed, you're working at like 12, 13, 14 years old. And now here we are at the Ritz-Carlton, right? You're
Yeah.
amongst your peers. You belong here. What is that like? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's night and day, right?
The Ritz here is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Love the Ritz-Carlton, Amelia Island. But I'll tell you, I was here 25 years ago. And when I walked through the doors 25 years ago, I didn't feel like I belonged here. I was at the beginning of my career, and just scraping by as a young adult,
Yeah.
on my own, and trying to find my place, and
Yeah.
just build the experience, build the wins,
Hmm.
which I didn't have at the time. So
Wow.
I look back 25 years ago and have accomplished so much.
Yeah.
The two proud moments of my life were having my two daughters,
Yeah.
which I did not think would ever be possible. So God
Wow.
has graced me with the two of them, but has also graced me with so many great mentors, so many great opportunities. I've had to work at everything, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Sometimes
for
I
sure.
feel like, wow, it can be really tough,
Yeah.
but I tell you, just, put your head down, drill through it,
Wow.
and also just live through it.
Absolutely.
And so today I'm here with so many great people and so many mentors,
Yeah.
and I just love this community.
That's awesome. Your story is so it's so inspiring even to me. Like, I'm young in my career. Me and my wife, the last 5 years, we've gone through so many ups and downs, and to see it's like it feels like a giant up and a giant down. But as we look now, it's almost like we're dipping, but we've been constantly going up. And a lot of times, like, I can't wait to look 25 years back and see where I was, and see where I am now. Like, I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. It's been I, I guess what I think of is just climb,
Hmm.
maintain, look back, reflect, and every day is a new day, and
Yeah,
every day is a day to conquer.
that's awesome. So let's talk about your role as VP development.
Yeah.
Take us through what that's like and how you even got there from at Taco John's.
Yeah. So absolutely love Taco John's. Love Heather's leadership style, the team that she's built at the executive level, and Taco John's, we're a 56-year-old brand. We're a legacy brand, but we are fighting through it. And so,
Yeah,
I mean, we're coming back.
yeah,
We're strong, and really excited about the opportunity to lead development, lead our overall growth
yeah,
as it relates to our store count.
yeah.
But it started again going back to I guess my early childhood, which is really just persevering through the tough times in development. I oversee not only lead gen marketing and recruitment, the path to ownership process, but real estate, construction,
Mm,
succession planning and growth, and the overall growth of the store unit count. So a lot of responsibility,
yeah,
a lot of change.
mhm,
Every day, is a new change.
yeah,
Something's thrown at me that is, it's just sometimes not foreseeable.
yeah,
And it's all about how you respond and grow and learn from it. So it was a tough road
yeah,
taking over development. I mean, it's business within the business.
yeah,
So you have to be well versed in really every area. But I go back to the community of franchising, and that is I didn't do it alone. I had a
hmm,
lot of help along the way. I am a member of the Women's Franchise Committee, and those committee members have been there to support me when I didn't know
yeah,
about a particular subject or I needed resources. They were there to coach and mentor me through it. Also, Marco's Pizza gave me the opportunity to learn more,
hmm.
to take on new roles. They promoted me 4 different times
Oh, wow.
within the organization, gave me the opportunity to really grow and learn.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you, that personal investment, you have to make that on your own.
absolutely.
You can't rely on an organization or anyone else to invest for you. You have to go out. You have to invest not only financially, but through that sweat, blood,
Yeah,
tears, those late hours, doing additional, homework or taking on courses or getting certification in certain areas so you can be a subject matter expert and really guide the
yeah, absolutely.
organization to success as well as your teams.
Yeah,
So with that, I learned real estate, construction, you name it.
yeah.
I probably have a
Wow.
certificate in it.
Wow.
But pulling that all together has really given me the opportunity to take that and then apply it to my current role, and then
Yeah.
be a strategic thought partner to the executive team.
That's great. I love that. You're doing such a great job. Heather, she just raves about you. She's like, you guys
Thank
clearly at Taco John's, you guys have an amazing team.
We do.
So you're in a leadership position. What in your life and career journey, like how has that enabled you to be the type of leader that you are today?
Okay, so I'll go back in time. And that, as I mentioned, I have a teaching degree. And there was naturally, well, let me go back a little further. I was raised by my mother, who was Irish, Catholic, Dutch, and a little Scottish, which I just found out about. But it was children are seen, not heard. There were two
Hmm.
types, obedient and disobedient, right?
Hmm.
So that's kind of like the foundation. So now I'm getting the teaching degree. I'm in my final semester of methods teaching. I'm teaching third grade, and I am really like the sole teacher. My methods instructor was there to observe me and give me feedback, and I had a really good lesson plan. I knew it was on point.
Hmm.
I felt I delivered a great lesson, and when I was receiving the feedback, the instructor told me that I nailed it on all those points, but I had great command of the class, but it was because they feared me.
Wow.
And I thought, well, wait a minute. I thought I came off as being like really like really kind and compassionate and
Yeah.
everything, but that was not the case. It was a reality check for me.
Wow.
And as I reflected on that, I realized that, you know, I should be there, present without pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And that I needed to engage and bring the students along
Yeah.
and get them passionate about what they're learning. But me as a leader, I had to do that and craft it in a way in order to get the buy-in, pull them through, and then also give them the guidance along the way. So that was the eye opener for me. Naturally, do I go back sometimes in my mind, like,
Yeah.
natural instinct is X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
but no, that's not the way to really pull the team in and lead. So I lead with compassion. I lead with definitely integrity and respect for others. But I have very high standards. I hold my teams to high standards, high expectations. But then individually work with empathy. And at the end of the day, we all want to belong. We don't want to fit in. We want to actually belong.
Absolutely.
And so belonging is a key part of my leadership, as well as high expectation and delivering results.
Absolutely. I love that. But my last question for you is,
Sure.
for anyone out there who may have a similar upbringing as you, and maybe they're 24 years old, early in their career, what advice do you have for them?
Well, give me a call.
Her number is 555.
Definitely, I'm here for anyone. It's not an easy road, and I didn't do it on my own. I definitely had a hand up, and I had a lot of people surrounding me. So I offer that to anyone who needs support along the way. But I'll say this, and that is, give yourself grace. None of us are perfect. And allow yourself to make mistakes, put yourself out there, be vulnerable, understand your gap. It's really important.
Yeah,
don't compare yourself or compete with others. You'll lose every time. Compete with yourself, understand that gap, and fill the gap. With me, it's with certificates, it's with, connecting with others who really I drive toward, and admire those who I admire, those skills, the compassion, just the grace, and work toward that, and have faith in yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's so great. And here, we're so happy to have you a part of the Prosper community, because that's what we're all about. We're here for you. I know you're probably finding so many mentors and people who are going to be giving you advice to help you further your career as well. So we just thank you for being a part of this podcast, and we're happy to have you as an accelerator this year.
Thank you, Jeremiah. It's been great. And I thank you for the Prosper community.